Welcome to the Operate Intelligently podcast, the podcast for all things operations. We're coming to you live from the floor of Dude University 2019, and joining me now is Grace Flack, our podcast producer extraordinaire, with a little recap on our thoughts of Dude University 2019.
I don't know about you, Brian, but it has been a super exciting and fun couple of days here in Raleigh at the Convention Center. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts as a first-time Dude University attendee. This is my second. It was amazing. So many cool thoughts from clients, got to meet a lot of people. Obviously, there's just a really cool community, family aspect of our clients with us as well, working with them throughout the year. So what were some of the highlights for you, or what was surprising your first time being at Dude University?
So a couple things. The first one was really kind of, I guess, that hearing from clients that message of, you guys do a fantastic job. You really care about us. You know, the products do what they say. You know, everybody does that. Everybody kind of has that marketing speak of, you know, we're the best, we're the greatest, but it doesn't really mean anything till a client, especially some of the long-term ones, you know, because that means they've seen that value over a long period of time.
I mean, right off the bat, you can tell that everyone who works for this company really enjoys their job.
It's not like going to a conference. It's going to where basically you're meeting family that you met over, you know, talking to them on the phone and developing your product. The customer service with Dude Solutions is something that you don't experience anywhere else. I mean, you can meet those folks in person, and then in the experience with the classrooms, it's not just Dude Solution folks telling you how to use the product.
Yeah.
You get a lot of folks like myself, clients and users, and you're able to experience things that they're doing, both good and bad, and then you're able to work through that in reference to solving problems.
I always have a good time. I try to have fun with it, but I also come back with a lot of what I have learned that I can tell my people.
Doing the podcast here was fantastic because I got to hear a lot of stories. We got to hear a lot of stories. I think both you and I have heard of some of these clients from other dudes. And so to get to meet them in person, to kind of hear their stories, see their passion, was absolutely amazing. I would also say we had a fantastic keynote. I thought Brett Culp did a great job, and a few of the interviewees talked about that.
Real leadership is a mission that you invite people to be on. And it's not an average, ordinary mission. It's an extraordinary mission. We're on a noble quest. This thing we're doing matters. It's important. And as a leader, I will articulate it that way. Ready? Stand up, shake someone's hand, look them in the eye, and say, you are a hero. You are a hero. You are a hero.
So it wasn't kind of the standard kind of run-of-the-mill keynote I've seen at a lot of other events. I did compare this to other user conferences I've been to that I've worked for or attended, and I'm not saying this because I worked for the Dude, but it was the best. Part of it, I like that it's here in our hometown, but I think part of it was just really that the culture we have, the connection we have with our client base, and I think it really manifested itself last night when we had the big celebration. And so for me, again, this was the first time experience of we all lined up. We rolled out the red carpet for our clients. They came down the escalator, and we're all there clapping our hands, cheering, high-fiving. I mean, it reminded me of when I was like in 8th grade and played football, and we're the football team walking into the pep rally after the cheerleaders got everybody all juiced up. The energy was amazing. I had a chance to actually talk to Kent and Lee. I had a chance to sit and listen to the podcast where Ed kind of recapped the history. So I felt very fortunate to kind of sit in on those conversations. It was awesome. But every single one of those conversations just kept reaffirming the great culture we have, the great job we do, and the fantastic clients that we have.
Yeah, you definitely hit some of the high notes for me too. The client appreciation dinner on Tuesday night is always one of my favorite parts. Just like I said, getting to be together as a community and celebrating the work of each other, and especially the work of what we call these unsung heroes that are behind the scenes, making sure our facilities are safe, efficient, and conducive to whatever, whether it's a school, hospital, manufacturing facility, whatnot. They work long hours. They come in early. Most of these people start their day much earlier than we start our day. And it's just neat to see the smiles on their faces and that hopefully they feel appreciated and that technology is empowering them and adding skills to their skill set. I mean, it's huge. Like you're saying, it's huge to see the end result of the impact that software has. Some of the words that you used, I feel like it's been cool to see similar words that have been used in different sessions and speaking opportunities, passion, and purpose and culture. I think those are a lot of things I've been hearing a lot about that Brett Culp talked about. It really is important, and I think we're all aligned knowing that when you have purpose in your work and in your life, you're happier. When you're helping people, you're happier. And that's one thing that I think kind of unites us with the Dude employees and the clients is they and we rub off each other. They have this incredible passion for the people they serve and the work they do to make the world better for us, and we want to do the same, empowering them. And so it's really cool to see that intersect.
And I think for our fellow dudes that get to work closely with our clients, the CSC team and the sales team and such, I think it was great. They get to kind of continue their relationship, have some fun. I heard some great stories of people going out and having, fun with karaoke and stuff like that. I think for you and I and other people that don't always really have that one-to-one connection, it's invaluable. It made me feel great. It made me feel proud to be a dude. But it just reconfirms what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah, you get to really learn more about what a day in their life is when you sit in on some of the sessions and hear the questions they're asking or ways that they're helping their budget get approved or capital planning and using data. I think that's been another huge theme is we've had so many sessions by clients and by Dude employees on making data-driven decisions, and people are doing that and they depend on that. And I feel like a lot of people I've talked to want to be growing in that. They want to be taking all this data and distilling it into what are the most important things and what do I need to share so I can hire a full-time painter or whatever the need is.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think being able to use data to make data-driven decisions, it was very interesting to talk to several people about how they're actually implementing that because, again, that's a cultural shift. And it's easy to just sit there and like, okay, well, here's the dashboard. But that's just the start of the journey.
These people are starting really cool things at their organizations. It's amazing, being greener, being more efficient. One thing along with the data and technology that we added this year that we haven't had before is Dude Labs, our innovative group at Dude Solutions, did an innovation station and they had a VR headset. I don't know if you got a chance to try
I did.
it.
I went down there this morning. I got a chance to chat with some of the Dude Labs. One of the gentlemen did a facility tour with me and he was talking about collecting assets and kind of gave me a tease on it on day one. But this morning I went down and checked it out. It was really neat. I basically, I picked a school and then I was able to kind of, zero in on it and the menu items and being able to select those and get comparative analysis data, being able to easily view and call out.
So we're here at Dude University at the innovation station that Dude Labs is doing. So I've got Brooks here and Chris. Guys, tell me about what's going on and what's been fun to see people do with this.
First of all, we're running completely out of t-shirts. So that's good. We have a lot of clients coming through, a surprising amount of interest in the Facility Innovators program. I had no idea what percentage of clients would really want to put it on the line and help give us feedback in exchange for basically a t-shirt and really wanting to be part of the future of the industry. And it's just been an outpouring of support for that, and that's been incredible.
That's awesome.
What have you seen?
Got people trying out our VR demo for roof conditions, and they're really having a lot of fun with that. And the Dude Vision goggles that we've created, as well as trying out our mobile asset collection app that we've been working on, getting interest in showing out people how you can scan your barcodes easily. We're excited to work with more people on that.
So I just did the VR thing. It was really awesome. So what have people been saying while they're doing it? What are their reactions?
I think people have a lot of fun. It's a really emotionally engaging experience because it's, I think, in a way very natural because it's what you're kind of used to seeing. And
Can you explain more of what people see too?
They're seeing a representation of their building. They're going to see a roof condition, so the roof is colored red, yellow, green, so they know kind of what state it may be in based off their work order history. And then they're also seeing some pie charts based off work order splits and the categories, and you compare it to your peers, as well as your preventive maintenance percentage, and compared to where you're at with your peers and where we would like you to be with the dude.
And behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. And so the art of this was to take some technologies that are really deep, kind of obscure technologies that people might not understand and bring them to the surface in a way that people love. And that was really the challenge of this, to kind of test our skills in doing that. So under the scenes, you have predictive analytics, you have data synthesis, where we're synthesizing public data sources with proprietary data sources and proprietary algorithms and exposing insights from that, and then giving clients really kind of distilled insights from what is some pretty complex statistics. Roxanne says they're very rudimentary, but they would baffle me. So that's really very cool stuff. And then we're doing data visualization, and thinking how people want to actually look at things, and the predictive insight, which is this concept of like a green, yellow, red check engine light on assets, where we're able to use our huge, what's called corpus of data, to inform clients that they maybe have a asset that's going off the rails. And that bit, clients I think have responded very positively to, that they like that idea of just being informed that there's something coming that they might not be aware of.
So I think they did a great job for their first time here and really putting out some things that were very innovative, but very well done.
Mm-hmm. And kind of the big theme of Duke University this year was, the future starts here, the future of operations management, and excited about the new technologies. And it's really powerful to be able to actually visualize some of those. And I mean, I feel like everyone's very excited to see, what the dude's going to be doing next, like what technologies we're going to be using, and also what ideas clients are going to continue to give us to make their work easier and more efficient and better. So another thing that was special about this year is it's our 20th birthday year as the Dude. So that was fun too with Dude University to get to do a couple of special things. We had a big birthday cake last night. At one point, I think we sang "Happy Birthday" to the Dude.
I think we sang "Happy Birthday" more than once.
Okay, yeah, I think it was a couple times.
3 times.
Or at least shouted. We all shouted "Happy Birthday."
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday, dude! Woo!
And the Dude was out last night. But what has it been like for you hearing people's impressions? That's another thing when we've been doing these podcast interviews, which we're really excited to release some of these podcast interviews throughout the year to all of you listeners. What were some of the things that stood out to you from people's memories or thoughts about the Dude overall?
I think one was, our culture definitely is transparent to our clients, and they see it and they get it. I had met one gentleman, was talking to him, and he said to me, he says, based off what I see, like, your company treats you really well. And I was like, yeah, they do. And that's a big motivator for us to do a great job. I mean, go to work happy. We've had Ed come on and talk about employer value proposition, and that's been several months now. And I would say, they've held their end of the bargain. They're supporting us. They're making sure that we're staying productive, but we're also staying happy. We're staying balanced. So it was really awesome to see that culture be so transparent to our clients. The other thing I thought that was really interesting was you and I got to listen to Ed do another podcast where he interviewed Lee and Pat and several of the dudes that have been around, and kind of the history and what Dude U was like back in Myrtle Beach in the early days. And I think the one thing that really was a strong impression, again, was just the integrity of those gentlemen and others that started this company, and that it has persevered throughout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that culture, definitely a lot of people bring that up, and even wanted to get training on like how to bring that back to their organizations, which is really cool. And I agree with you. I think it started with the founders and the people that we serve, having that like-minded of helping others. And it's cool to always have the conversation with clients and hear about the support they're getting from us. And that's one of the big standout things most people talk about, the client support folks and how they're always willing to help and go the extra mile. And that's just neat to hear from people that really does.
And I can't remember who said it last night. Somebody said, this is like your family. And I can relate to that and say other groups I've done some events, or I've done volunteer work for professional development organizations, and you get really tight, especially when you're volunteering, and done like a long-term track with that, and that was the word coming out of those experiences, like this is like my second family. So I think it's very rare to see that, and I think it's tough because when people think culture, sometimes they think like, oh, we have these ergonomic desks and we have this snack room or like these kind of, they're nice to have, but at the end of the day, I want leaders I can look up to. I want clear structure on how we're going to deal with our challenges and how we're going to approach stuff. I want a team that I like to work with, that we respect each other, that we're willing to support one another, and open and honest communication. And I think we have that.
I think Josh Peach said it really well when I was interviewing him. It starts in the heart. It starts with that you genuinely, you have integrity and you care about the people around you and you want to make the world a better place. And it's awesome to be surrounded by like-minded folks who have, and I'm sure also, employees and clients feel like in some ways we've been through trenches together, and you can see people, hugging folks, or, I've worked so much with this person over the phone. It's so exciting to get to meet them in person, and they're really those relationships that are formed. Another thing that's been interesting is this is our first Dude University to really be podcasting it.
Yeah.
Y'all might notice we've had some interesting sounds in the background.
We've had
vacuumers going by and loud cars on the street. But also it's kind of fun to feel that energy of people here setting up, taking down the conference.
It's so funny.
Kind of like you're here.
As you mentioned, that they are taking down the red carpet from last night, so you hear a little banging
away
in the background. I think that may be the last loud noises we'll have unless somebody drives by the street. We are actually sitting in a very beautiful part of the Raleigh Convention Center. Lots of natural light. We're sitting, directly across, we can see the entrance to Red Hat Amphitheater. This is right in the heart of downtown Raleigh, so I did like it. I think the audiophile me was kind of worried at first, but I'm kind of interested to see how these podcasts come out. Like sometimes hearing the roar of people coming out of sessions while we were recording, or others. And I want to thank every single person that came on and spoke with us, because boy, they didn't let it faze them one bit. I think you and I were more phased than they were.
We're more used to our little studio back at the office, but yeah, everyone says this, but you just come to Dude University, and whichever side you're on, client, employee, attendee, prospect, whatever, you get inspired. You get inspired about the people you serve, the work you do, what you can do more, how we can help clients more, and having those conversations with clients are just so inspirational about successes they've had or ways they want to use the system to do new things. And I'm so excited to share all these interviews with all the listeners.
Yeah, we talked about some really neat stuff. We talked to people about how they're using drones, how they're using different new technology, how they're looking at data, looking at comparative data, being able to really communicate the value of their work through that data and through the reports that comes through. And again, you hear the stories, and so it's hard to always know all the pieces because you're hearing someone else tell the story. But then in interviewing everyone and hearing them tell their story, it made it even more solid in my mind.
I totally agree. Well, I guess it's officially a wrap.
This is it.
On Dude University 2019. Thank you again, Brian, for being an awesome host and interviewee, and can't wait to share all this awesome podcast content with the rest of you throughout the year.
And thanks to Grace for putting together all the interviews, getting questions, and putting up with me during the entire event.
Thank you for listening to the Operate Intelligently podcast, produced by Dude Solutions. You can reach us by emailing dspodcast@dudesolutions.com, or check us out on the web at dudesolutions.com.